Hello everyone, my name is Lorthorn and welcome to a mod showcase for playing as fantasy races within the game of Minecraft. Now the mod we are covering is an add-on for the Origins mod, and this mod is Medieval Origins. If you don't know what Origins is, it's a mod that lets you start the game when you create a new world as a different species than human if you choose to. Things like bird people, spider people, Lytran shulkers, that sort of thing. This add-on of the Medieval Origins adds a whole bunch of new ones, such as Elf, Goblin, Knight, and Ogre. So, I am going to show these different races off to you so you can get a feeling and a scene to them and decide if you like them or not. So let's get ready and get into this so we can look at all the different mods, and I'm going to have my little avatar now disappear. To start off with, we are going to look at Elves, or the Elf. They are a difficulty 1, low impact to your game. Elves are intelligent, long-lived residents of the forest. They are skilled in archery, proven useful from afar, but their frailness becomes an issue close up. Archers. Elves are expert marksmen. They deal significantly more damage using a bow than other creatures. Forest vision. Centuries of living in the forest have given elves a far better perception in the dark than most. Hypersight. Elves' enhanced perception allows them to keep track of enemies for a while after hitting them, even when they aren't in view. Towering. Elves are suitably taller than average humans. Despite this, they are also very skinny. Steward. Elves live off the forest and its fruits. Their digestive system cannot process meat. Spindly. Owing to their slender nature, the heaviest armored elves can wear is chainmail. Weak melee. Elves are built for combat from afar, not up close. Their damage with swords and axes is reduced. I think the elf looks really silly. Their skinniness plus height I don't know, something about it looks a little bit off to me. They are actually 2.5 blocks tall. If you measure it. There we go. See? 2.5 blocks tall. That's kind of interesting. Their bow skills, dealing more damage with a bow. That's a fun, tasteful thing. I think there's a misconception with elves that, oh, they only use bows. It's more of, yeah, they use bows because if you have thousands of years of practice, you can get really good with a bow. But also if you have thousands of years of practice, you can get really good with a sword. So I don't know why they're worse with swords, and a lot of people are like, elves are weaker than humans. In Lord of the Rings, elves are actually stronger than humans. They had kind of divine strength. The elves were better in every single way. The only thing that humans had going for them is humans had destiny and could actually die, while elves couldn't. Anyways, the sword strike of the elf, or being weaker, I'm fine with that. You can have a give and take and a balanced mod. I really like how they light things up so you never lose track of what you're hunting. That's fun. I like their night vision. That's pretty good. Also, them not being able to eat meat, well, that's a strange notion to me, as I think that if you live in a forest your whole life, you would definitely eat meat, but I'm also fine with elves only eating fruits and berries and bread and the dew off leaves. It's all quite good. I say, elves are fun. On to the next one.
Goblin. Conniving and greedy, goblins excel in one-on-one combat and gain more loot from any mobs they kill, although their small size becomes an issue against fighting groups of foes. Goblins are cunning creatures. Their attacks do more damage than other creatures, and they gain more loot from killing mobs. Greedy. Goblins have a natural greedy disposition. Anything glinting gives significant more benefit to them than it would to others. Nippy. Although short, goblins are certainly not slow. Moderate increase to base move speed. Stunted. Goblins' poor diet and genetics prevents them from growing as tall as other creatures. Frail. Being small has its drawbacks. Goblins' max health is reduced, and their small size makes them prone to damage.
Who doesn't love a good goblin? I think goblins are excellent thing to add. The good old gobbo, I mean, it doesn't make you green or give you a big nose, but just being smaller is fun. And their liking of gold is quite good. I like that gold is actually useful to goblins. If you give them shinies, it works better for them than iron. I don't know about diamonds, but goblins actually vastly benefit from gold. It gives them more armor than the iron counterpart. See, with this iron chest piece, we have 2 slots left, but when we put on the gold, it actually gives us half a gold more. Damage with their weapons equivalent. Goblins also just hit harder than normal, which makes them fun. Their running speed's cool, because if they sprint jump, it actually makes goblins slower. They're over that threshold of jump speed boost. Ours almost equivalent. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, the goblins are great. Goblins are really great. To them, all that does glitter is golden, and they can eat whatever they like. I like the gobos. Gobble, 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 gobble. Goblos are great. Short stacks are the best. Knight! Knights are valorous heroes who work tirelessly to protect the land. For honor and glory, what's a knight without his shining armor? Iron armor provides significantly more defense than it does to others. Skilled swordsmen. Knights are trained professionally at what they do. Any attack they make with a sword deals more damage. Valor. Knights are valorous men. In their dying moments, they fight harder than ever. Burden. Burdened by heavy armor, knights have reduced movement speed, which doesn't quite make sense, as you can basically move the same speed with or without armor, especially if you're trained in it. Magic prone. With high physical damage resistance, it is only natural that attacks of more spectral nature would have increased effect against knights. This also doesn't make sense. They wouldn't be more vulnerable to magic, they just take normal damage to it. So yes, they are more vulnerable, but they are vulnerable as you as I. Melee forever. Unskilled in the art of archeries, knights are incapable of using bows. Knights. Highly silly, I think. Given their slowness. Slowness is a terrible thing to have inflicted to you. I would never want to be slow. Slowness is one of the worst aspects in Minecraft, which immediately puts the knight down on my naughty list. Their armor and resilience, though, is absolutely incredible, getting full armor from iron, which is insane. They basically take no damage, and they get upgraded to 2-shotting zombies when they're at low health with the iron sword, which is pretty impressive. Not being able to use bows, also kind of a disgraceful, and you're actually not going to encounter all that much magic in early game Minecraft. However, in late game, magic's going to be coming from everywhere. It's one of the most consistent and dangerous types of sources of damage. And being more susceptible to magic damage also just makes the knights quite terrible. In most cases, I think the knight's bad, especially the slowness. In a melee, you would get destroyed. No extra reach or knockback resistance, yeah. People could just very easily take you on in a melee. Not much you could do. Anyways, from the knight we move on to. I'm not going to even attempt this to do a Banshee voice. We move on to Impact Medium, so Impact 2 changes the game actually considerably more than the last ones we've done, and that is the Banshee. Banshees are spirits whose cries can shatter glass and drive people to suicide. They are also seen as omens of death in mythology. Sonic Shriek. Banshees are renowned for their supersonic cries, which can cause blood vessels to burst. Press G for a short period where you'll find yourself dealing far more damage. Ethereal. Banshees possess the ability to become intangible at will, meaning they can't be affected by foes in physical reality. This, of course, comes with a cooldown activated with the secondary power key. Hexed. Banshees are known for their cursing prowess. Every time they are hit, there's a small chance that the attacker will be consigned to a fate of slow, agonizing death. Flesh Eater. Banshees feast upon the organs of the living. Their ethereal bodies do not desire fruit or vegetables. Iron Averse. Iron is lethal to the Banshee. They cannot wear it. Immaterial. Being incorporeal does not come without consequences. Banshees have half the health a living person would have. Alright, Banshee. Well, they can't wear iron. They can't eat bread. Their curse is kind of interesting. They have no health, which makes it so that curse is really hard to utilize. They're taking no damage is also kind of interesting, but the cooldown on, that's the one you see right now, is ridiculously low. And I turned up all the volume options, but you don't get a sound when you press the power for the extra damage, and the extra damage is ridiculously high, but it has no sound effect associated with it, which just makes it rather disappointing, I must say. Banshee is cool conceptually. I do like the transparency that they have. That's also fun. But you just don't get any visual effects with it. When they're damage immune, you can't actually tell. They don't become more transparent. I just feel like the Banshee is incomplete. It's not a finished product. And I'll do the next tier 2.
The Demon. Demons are evil servants of Satan. This gives them numerous advantages, but can also be their downfall. Demon Fire. Imbued with Satan's power, demons can release a burst of hell energy on command, triggered with the secondary power key. Hellborn. When you lived in the depths of hell, a lick of fire is nothing to you. Demons are immune to fire damage. Carnivore. The demon's bloodlust is insatiable. It isn't the flesh of animals, then it is worthless. Unholy Deal. Demons can exchange some of their health for increased strength on account of their devil's influence, triggered by pressing G. Hydrophobia. When you've lived in lava your whole life, water seems quite scalding. Overworld weakness. As agents of hell, demons are not accustomed to the mobs of the overworld and take more damage from them. Right then, going to start with, I like that demons do not start within hell. That's quite a good change over the fire one, in my opinion. Now, they appear to be able to completely swim in lava, which is fun. Taking damage to deal additional damage. That's an inordinate amount of damage with excessively long cooldown. I don't actually know if this ability is useful. The cooldown, each time I tried this, ended up killing me, so that cooldown is kind of absurd. Although, that, in contrast to their fireball, which has a ridiculously low cooldown, and basically sends out a gas projectile, only able to eat meat. Yeah, over that's fine. Them taking more damage from overworld creatures I think is rather weird, because usually the case is with demons that they take less damage. Your mere mortal weapons cannot hurt them, as they are powerful otherworldly entities, and so you need true iron or silver to actually damage them, as those are reality grounding items. Whereas this thing's, yes, that chicken's looking at you funny, be careful, it might be able to kill you with this overworld wave, because they're not used to fighting them. Yeah, don't know about that one, but I'm fine with it, for the most part. And the hydrophobia, the water being scalding, I don't understand that, but reasons for them taking it. That person was having fun with it, right? You know, it's not a biggie. I say demons are pretty cool. On to the next origin from here.
Fae. Beings of magic, Fae are capable of far more than regular humans. Whether that is a blessing or a curse, that is for you to decide. Levitation. Fae are known for their ability to levitate. Pressing the G key, you will begin to hover. Magic resilient. As magical creatures themselves, Fae take less damage compared to other creatures from magic. Regeneration. Fae are magical creatures. Pressing the secondary power key will let your house regen for a short period, at the cost of your hunger. Diminutive. It is rare for Fae to break 5 feet in height. They are small creatures, even smaller than the Weasley Golem. Even smaller than the Weasley Goblins. Ironiverse. Iron inhibits Fae powers. It is unable to wear iron. Well, I don't know about the Fae. They're a little bit strange. I actually really like their levitation ability, and their healing is quite good. They can eat anything, which puts them at odds with the Elves, but I'm actually quite fine with Fae eating meat. I think it's completely in character. What I don't understand is they can wear chainmail. It's like the person didn't realize that chainmail and iron come from each other. It's a bit of a funny thing. Also, it's only wearing. They can still use the iron sword and they can still use the iron axe. The regen power's cooldown is, I think, a perfect length of time. It's relatively short compared to some of the other cooldowns. And it gives you really good regen. It does cost a lot of health, but sort of a big burst in a moment of desperation. And this levitation just activates by pressing G is actually really good. If you're skilled enough as a Fae, you can basically always avoid fall damage, which makes them pretty cool, pretty nifty. Yeah, I know. I like the Fae, and also I like how short they are. If you crouch, you can almost be 1 block tall, which is kind of absurdly short. It's pretty fun. And from the Fae, we move on to the Necromancer.
Mages learned in the art of raising the dead. Necromancers raise armies from nothing. However, this morbid relationship with death comes with consequences. Hellraiser. At will, a necromancer raises a circle of skeletons, blocking projectiles and damaging other opponents. Unfortunately, it only lasts for a short time. Resilient. Learning about death goes a long way towards avoiding it. Necromancers have increased health. Impervious. The study of death has made necromancers immune to poison, withers, and instant damage. Unfortunately, this means they do not receive the positive effects from regeneration and instant health. Poor reputation. Unfortunately, students of the dark arts feared by the general population. Villagers refuse to trade with necromancers, and iron golems will attack them on sight. This does, however, come with the bonus that they are accepted amongst the ranks of pillagers. Black Thumb. Necromancers only work with death. They cannot harvest any crops. They wilt at their deadly touch. Disturbed. Learning the arts of necromancy is traumatizing. Necromancers cannot sleep, too scared to dream of what they wish they did not know. Unguarded. Enveloping oneself in arcane leaves one open to attack in the physical realm. Most mobs deal damage of an increased amount to the necromancer. Alright then, the necromancer.
Besides having a voice I cannot keep up. He's cool. I like him. His extra health is kind of meaningless if you take extra damage. I feel like the person's like, oh, we'll give him extra health. Oh, but he needs to take extra damage. Ooh, and then it's like, oh, well then, what's the point really? Maybe once you get high enough resistance to armor, it can make up for that. Not taking poison damage, that's fun. I like the not being able to sleep. That's I like this. The what you know will kill you, but you'll die laughing. I very much enjoy that. That's a good one. The Ring of Skeletons. Oh, what a cool ability. It looks cool, don't it? She looks very cool. Cooldown, ridiculously high. They say, oh, you can summon them at will. Nope, it's got the longest cooldown ever. Not being able to trade with villagers? That sucks. I like trading with villagers. I do like the not being able to harvest anything. Everything you touch only dies. There's that line from that song. But yes, his one bonus though, the extra health, is just absolutely worthless. If he takes extra damage, it's completely worthless, in my opinion anyways. That his power, his ring, I feel like the cooldown could be a little bit lower, but besides that, really, really enjoyed the Necromancer. Conceptually and just the sort of interactions, and he can hang out with the pillagers. It's all very fun.
And after the Necromancer,
Dies irae requie, soldiers of the Lord, paladins excel in combat against the world's fallow, undead creatures. However, their holiness leaves them vulnerable to attacks from these same creatures. Holy fire. As servants of the Lord, undead creatures cannot bear the touch of the paladin and burst into flame. Holy instrument. An axe in the hand of a paladin is a dangerous weapon. All axes deal increased damage, but swords deal less. Leech. Every kill regenerates a paladin's health. I feel like that should be on the Necromancer. Holy curse. As a servant of the Lord, paladins cannot bear to connect with impure beings such as undead mobs and take more damage from them. Also, they don't touch women. Well built. Walking around in heavy armor all day is a chore. Paladins need more food to sustain themselves. Amen. Alright. The Paladin, well suited for combat against the undead, does take considerably more damage from them. However, the ability to regain health while fighting them seems like quite a boon. And it is very useful to light them on fire. Their axe also deals absurd amount of damage, and they gain their leech bonus from all creatures, making them a melee juggernaut. Them requiring more food I feel like could be explained better than the heavy armor dealio, as I'm not wearing heavy armor nor getting passive heavy armor. However, I'm fine with it as a penalty for the Paladin, and them dealing so much damage with the axe is pretty chill. Lighting undead on fire is fun. If you kill a zombie, there's a chance that it'll drop a baked potato. Next we have on the list of origins
The plague victim. Carriers of plague affects the victim's daily life, but does not kill them. Used correctly, it can be a powerful weapon against your foe. Foul aura. Plague-carrying fleas swarm the victim. Being in general vicinity of them isn't beneficial for one's health. Oh. Plague immune. Although they carry the plague, they do not suffer the brunt of its symptoms. They are immune to poison, wither. Risk of transmutation. Every contact with a plague victim, 50-50 on whether you'll contract disease or not. The opponent's best prey, they get lucky. Contagion. The plague is highly contagious. Villagers refuse to trade with you. Fear they'll get the plague. Also, you're insomniac. The horrible welts make sleep impossible for those who carry the plague. And sensitive skin. The lesions upon your skin, which are tender and painful to touch. As a result, you cannot wear armor. And skin and bones. The plague causes rapid muscle atrophy, resulting in reduced health and speed. I like the plague victim. Their miserable existence speaks to my soul. And I can relate deeply with them as someone who also has skin problems. Their ability just to apply wither is pretty funky. And their hits being nasty is just great being near them. Ugh. Their slowness, not a fan of, but I could overlook that. Them not being able to trade with villagers, well, sucks to be the villagers, and sucks to be their friends, but besides that, I actually really enjoy them conceptually. I think they could be a lot of fun in multiplayer. Basically, I'm going to be a plague victim, and then your friends are like, no, get away from me, get away from me, get away from me. What are you doing? No, go, give me the plague, you idiot. What are you doing? Yes, the plague victim is definitely one of my favorites so far. From horrible plague, we have next the Siren. Sirens have ensnaring beauty and an evil nature. Their irresistible beauty makes them the downfall of many sailors. It is up to you to use the power to its full advantage. Siren Song. Sirens are known for their luring calls. Press G to make all mobs around you neutral until a hit. This does not apply to bosses for obvious reasons. Now, I'll disagree with you there. I think bosses should also be affected by this until you hit them. I think effects should always apply to bosses. Design your bosses to accommodate these effects. Do not design in absence of these effects. Give your boss more health if this is a worry that they could take, or different things that can happen. But do not remove the option of applying effects to your bosses. Amphibious.
Siren beings are subset of mer people. They can survive in water and have a very high swimming speed. Holy water. Sirens' regeneration power is at full force when they are in the water. Out of your depth. Although sirens can survive just fine on land, it is not their natural environment. As such, their regeneration does not apply, and any damage taken can only be healed by potions. Prone. While sirens can regenerate their body, they are weak to blunt force. Melee attacks do more damage to them. Flammable. Sirens are weak to fire. Any contact with flames results in instant death. Make sure to watch your step in the nether. And water vision. Sirens have superior underwater vision than other creatures. Okay, I think sirens are kind of worse Merlins. The Merlins don't have all these effects going on over here. You get all these bonus effects applied. Regeneration, Dolphins, Greats. The Merlins are just faster without that, so I feel like it's different coders and different competency in coder is going on. One person made the original mod and thought it was a really cool idea. The next person took this mod along and had their own thoughts and wishes that they applied to it, and they just didn't know how to execute it quite as well. The Siren song doesn't have any sound effects, although the neutrality is quite nice. I do like that. And I do like their regen mechanic, how they have constant regen well underwater. But as soon as they go to the surface outside the water, Ariel suddenly has a few problems with getting her hit points back, which I am totally jiggy with. Moving on from the Siren, we have the final tier 2 of medieval origins, the Werewolf. Fierce animals or people with misunderstood condition. A werewolf can be either. Which path will you choose? Lycanthropy. The condition causing the werewolves to turn into a wolf at night has the effect of increasing a person's stature, strength, and health. Carnivorous. Werewolves eat like a wolf, even when not transformed. The only food they can eat is meat. Silver aversion. Werewolves are weak to silver. They cannot bear to wear it. And we have iron acting as silver in this case. Drained. Increased prowess at night unfortunately does come with consequences. In daytime your health and strength are reduced. Insatiable hunger. Werewolves constantly on the lookout for the next meal. Their appetite is much greater than average. Alright then, the werewolf is actually relatively simple. At daytime he is weak, at nighttime he is strong. It is very good. Only able to eat meat, I am fine with that. Although losing the ability to eat golden apples does suck. I like how they get bigger at nighttime. My thoughts are that if you combine this origin mod with another mod such as vampirism and then the lycanthropy add-on, it could be a lot of fun. Or the bewitchment werewolf with this werewolf if their effects stacked. Having constant strength 2 at nighttime would be very handy, as well as the additional health, and also being slightly bigger does add intimidation factor to the werewolf for certain. It is very good, I do like the contrast. Top-notch origin, very well put together. And with that, we move on to the home stretch. 2 more to go of Moderation 3. And from the werewolf, we move on to... We have the Ogre. Ogres are large and impervious brutes. Ogres are fierce creatures and grant stature. However, their appearance is insatiable, and their stature is just as often a hindrance as it is a help. Charge. Ogres can charge forward, piercing through several blocks, but this drains hunger and slows the ogre for a short while. Lead belly. The enormous appetite of an ogre sometimes mean eating an undesirable meal from time to time. As such, ogre stomachs have evolved to withstand even those toxic foodstuffs. Stocky. Owing to the tremendous size, ogres have 2.5 times the health of a regular player. Gargantuan. Ogres are renowned for their size and are substantially taller and wider than most creatures. Ravenous. It takes a lot of food to sustain a creature as large as an ogre. Appetite is massively increased. Sluggish. Not known for their ability, ogres and some of the slowest creatures to roam the land. XXXL. It is rather hard to find armor that suits an ogre of its size. As a result, ogres can only wear flexible armor, such as leather and chainmail. Chainmail is actually relatively rigid stuff, but that is nothing to worry about. I like the ogre. Now, my Scottish accent isn't quite the same as Streck's Scottish accent, you'd see, but it is not bad. However, I can't maintain I've been doing too many accents, my brain is frazzled. Ogre doesn't deal a ton more damage, but their health is absurd. I love how big they are. Oh, look how beefy these beautiful boys are. Actually, I really like them. This charge ability also reminds me of the ogre from earlier mod. Being able to eat anything's quite good. You know, the ogres are good fun. They're kind of like Warhammer ogres. Big trundling boys, and you cannot keep them out of your house if you happen to have food. The ogre will break in, and it'll be a very much somebody once told me moment. And without further ado, we have the final one.
Brothers of the mine, rejoice, sing, sing, sing with me. A dwarf is what we choose a choice. Sing, sing, sing with me. Dwarves are short humanoids who live underground. They excel in mining but have issues surviving on the land. Dwarven tech. Dwarven tech allows dwarves to mine significantly faster than other creatures. Nocturnal eyes living underground has led dwarves to having heightened sensitive eyes, able to see perfectly in pitch black caverns. Potent brew. Dwarves are known for their alcohol consumption. Pressing G will consume a potent brew which brings back health to full. Miniature. Perhaps the most notable aspect of the dwarves is their size. They are far, far, far shorter than the average human. Darkness Dweller. Dwarves are adapted to darkness. Daylight is far too strong for their eyes, blinding them until the darkness returns. Counteracted by wearing golden helmets. Dense. Dwarves are heavy creatures. As a result, can't swim. Photoallergic. Dwarven skin is not suited for the outside world and combusts into flame unless they are wearing a helmet. Okay, I love how short the dwarf is. They are far too short from what I think dwarves are. These are like hobbit goblin dwarves, but it's great. These are the more Norse dwarfs that are actually being ridiculously small dwarves. I like the golden helmet on the surface, very thematic. You don't take fire damage, you can actually see in sunlight, so you'll always see dwarves wearing golden helmets if you ever see them, which is kind of fun. They have to wear a helmet if they go out and about, which adds a great bit of role take. Dwarves sinking instantly is hilarious. I like their brew healing them. It's cool, fun power that really buffs them. But the big part of gameplay is they can go about in these tunnels underground. They mine faster than normal. And for perspective how fast it is, I've given efficiency 5 netherite pickaxe. And yeah, it does basically break dirt instantly. But a dwarf can just go dig, 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 which is great. I love that. Now, I really do like the dwarf. I think they're incredibly clever designed. I think the werewolf still might be one of the top in my opinions. But yeah, the dwarf are awesomely designed. I really like this super small stature, although it does mess with your brain being only one block tall. It reminds me a lot of Gulliver mod. But I do love the dwarf. Thoughts overall on the Medieval Origins mod. My final thoughts on the mod. Well, I think that the original is better than the medieval one. The medieval one adds some interesting new ideas, some interesting new takes, but I think the coding is smoother in the original, just pure Origins, and the ideas are more solid. They feel more appropriate in Minecraft. This is still fun though. I like a lot of them. More variety is more fun, but I think more people would definitely, if you had on a server, orbit towards the Origins mod base than the Origins medieval. I still really like it. I love the dwarves. Dwarves always make me smile. I like the Plague Victim. The skinny elf is fun. The goblins are great. Oh, the goblins are so good. The huge ogre is kind of hilarious. All in all, it's pretty fun. I have my gripes with it, but I very much enjoy it. Worth the time. Definitely did have a good time with it. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found that interesting add-on to the whole dealio. And I'll catch you next time when I cover the more origins, the non-medieval addition to this mod. It just adds more origins. We'll see what that's like then. And yeah, no, I had fun with this, and I think you could have fun with it too. Definitely check out
Medieval Origins, the add-on for the Origin mod. So, with that, thank you very much, and I bid you all a kind adieu, and until next time, goodbye.